Today we're taking a look at my run and gun rig for the Pocket 6K Pro. But first, if you're new to the channel, my name is Anson, and on this channel we talk about filmmaking, specifically budget gear, tutorials, and a behind the scenes look at the projects that I'm working on. So if that's something you're into, consider subscribing. Now recently I did do a live stream of putting together my 6K Pro rig, but after a couple shoots I finally feel like I've got it dialed in, and so I want to bring it to you all. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and break down my Pocket 6K Pro rig, starting first with the core of the rig. Now, if you joined that live stream, you know that the tilt to full cage that I'm using can be used as a half cage, and that's actually what I'm using. I like that feel of having the grip of the Pocket 6K Pro without a cage, and so I only use the tilt to full cage in its half cage capacity. And so that's what I'm using for the core of the rig. Now, on the core of the rig, I do have a Tilta 15mm rod bracket, and that's one that I can easily screw and unscrew to either put the 15mm rod on or take it off, depending if I need it for that shoot. And so that stays permanently affixed to the core of the rig. Now, moving on from the core of the rig, let's talk about what I use for stability. I am using a Nicey Rig side handle. I've been super impressed with this specific side handle. It's very comfortable to hold, and so if I'm doing longer shoots, it's just so much easier on my hands than some budget or inexpensive side handles. This one is a little bit more pricey, coming in around, I think it's around $80 right now, but I'll be honest, it is worth every single penny. And so I have that on the left side of the rig, and what I like about the Tilta cage is it does come with a rosette connection on the left side of the cage, and that side handle also has a rosette connection, and so I simply just attach it to the cage itself. There is an exception where I may use a different mounting bracket for the side handle, and that's dependent on the next piece that we'll look at, and that's the follow focus unit that I'm using. Right now I am using the small rig follow focus system. I actually prefer this over the Tilta. I feel like the Tilta is too dampened, and so if I'm using cine lenses, it's just hard to get the full rotation, whereas this small rig, I feel like it's dampened a little bit better, and so that's what I'm using for a follow focus. And the reason I'm using that in general is to get my hands off the lens to help with stability, and it can serve as another point of contact for stability. Now, going back to the different mounting of the side handle, with the lenses that I'm using, I am using Leica R lenses primarily, but if I'm using those lenses, I do find that possibly the side handle is a little bit too close to the follow focus unit. So if you have bigger hands, you may want to mount the side handle a little bit farther back on the cage, and so at that point you will be using a different mounting bracket than the one that's included on the cage itself. But that's what I'm using for a follow focus setup, and I believe that's mounted to a 4-inch 15mm rod from small rig as well, and so that's going into the rod clamp bracket that I have that we talked about before. Now with that, let's talk about storage and power. Now, everything that I'm using for storage and power, you'll notice I don't have any wires with this rig because the storage I'm using is a CFast card from Angelbird. I do have a budget one from Silicon Power, but I don't use that as much. The Angelbird one is my go-to, and so that's what I'm using for storage. And then power, I'm honestly using the internal battery. I'm just taking a bunch of them when I go out and shoot. Now, I don't have a go-to NPF battery quite yet. I'm still testing that out, but I will post some well-reviewed batteries as well as all the other components of this rig in the description below. So if you want to see any of these things, there will be affiliate links in the description below, so definitely check them out. So that's what I'm using for power and storage. Now, the lens that I'm using, I am using primarily Leica R lenses that have been cine modded. I will be making a video to follow up on that as far as how I cine mod my Leica R lenses. And so these Leica R lenses have been cine modded, and that's what I'm primarily using with the Pocket 6K Pro. And so really, that's my 6K Pro setup, my 6K Pro run and gun rig. But with that, if you guys do have questions about this rig, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you got any value or if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. As always, thank you for joining. Go and find your journey. Go embrace life. Stay safe, be happy, support each other. Wash those hands, and I'll see you here next time. Peace.